You and I both have an individual, unique standard for the thing that we love and that we want for ourselves. And as human species, it's undeniable that we desire love, we seek love actively. We work and we try hard at life because we want recognition in some shape and form. And as we continue to build ourselves up and strive to become better persons individually, we seek somebody to complete our life with. Many religions and philosophies in general talk about how relationships are a thing which complete your faith, complete your heart, complete whatever. And in today's world, it is more and more daunting to go out there in the market, expose yourself and find something you truly want. Especially if you're a person that's following in this path of self-development. Which you probably are. Because we look online and whatnot and our perception of how things really are is skewed. You start to wonder if that type of person really even exists in the first place. The one that you want. But before we even look for somebody else, there's a few mistakes that we make when we start looking for this person, right, that completes us. And I made some notes that I want to speak about on this video. And I recommend you watch until the end because number 3 is gonna shock your mind. One of the biggest mistakes that I see repeatedly out there is that you are not the things that you value in the other person. Let's say that you value modesty, humility, right? That you value good traits and a good heart in general. How can you be so sure that you have these things for yourself? To begin with, for example, do you watch pornography still? I'm pretty sure somebody that's on self-improvement, self-development, self-care, self-love is not going to be somebody inclined to wanting a partner that likes pornography and masturbation, self-pleasuring and the rotting of the mind, all these effects that pornography has on us. So do you yourself, sporadically, every now and again, check these websites, masturbate to other people, or like drawings or whatever? Are you a person that's actually modest? If you value, let's say, a woman that's, hides her body parts, if you have a good body or whatever, do you try not to show it off? Are you a person filled with humility? Not only your physique, but are you a show-off? Do you have skills that you decide to show off to the world? Or maybe you have a big wallet, right, and then you decide to walk around with it, you make a display, you show off. Do you have these tendencies? Are you a person that's loving and affectionate? Somebody that's patient? Somebody that's willing to hear the other person out? Or do you have your mindset and your point of view, and upon the first argument or first disagreement, you tend to just turn off and consider the other person to be wrong? There are many things that I'm also guilty of, that we all do, that are not reflected upon what we really value, right? A lot of cognitive dissonance, which is when you have things that you value and or things that you believe in, and your actions kind of have the otherwise effect. Now, of course, we're not going to be perfect, but it's okay to make these mistakes, just like how you should expect that the person that you will get with or that you want may also make these mistakes, and thus be understanding of them. Have an open heart when looking for this partner. And do not seek somebody perfect, because you yourself walk the imperfect path. Which is actually a great segment into number 2, which is not being open-minded, judging others preemptively, and being insecure overall. One must consider a person beyond their stance, or beyond the qualities or hobbies that they display. Because sure, it's a great indicator of what kind of person they are, but they are more than what the eye meets. Because you are more than what the eye meets, aren't you? If you had a religious belief, for example, and somebody just immediately judged you because of that, because of something they saw online or whatever, wouldn't that be unfair against the other things that you have? Without even hearing you out or asking you questions, and realizing that ultimately you're just a person seeking love for everybody and for everybody to be happy? Because that's what the entire world ultimately wants. But that's another topic. But to actually kind of double down on that angle, let's say that you're an incel loser at the surface. Like, you have all these terms about subhuman, whatever, normie, this and that, giga chad, whatever. You have this vocabulary, and please don't get triggered, please, have patience. That's at the surface level. Deep down, you are a loving man, a loving person that wants to give good to the outside, that wants to generate good. But, on the surface, you may be these titles. You may consider them for yourself, or people around you may consider them onto you. Well, a man like this would very much so dislike a feminist of today. One of these typical women who may call themselves feminists on the surface level, but deep down, if you look beyond that, you realize that they just want a good man, a good loving man, to love themselves. And they may say all of these things on the surface about there's no more good men out there, men are trash, whatever. But in the same likewise manner that you may say things about like women are cheaters, infidels, they're trash, they don't deserve anything, whatever, right? So it's kind of funny because we can egotistically self-reflect and be like, well, we are more, like I am more than what the crowd says of me, right? I have more to give. I have more love inside than they make it out to be. Likewise, that person whom you may be judging as well, may have more inside that you make it out to be. And like that quote, I think is from the Bible, I'm not sure. Judge not, lest ye be judged. What goes around comes around, and you bite someone else, that bite's gonna come back to you. They may be biting you, well, say, you know what? They may be fearing that bite. Maybe they're biting because they're scared for themselves, whatever. I'm complicating a little too much with the examples and the analogies here. What I'm trying to say is that deep down, that person probably wants something very similar to you. And if you are considered an incel and they are considered a feminist, just try to look beyond all of that. Realize that you guys are not just belonging to a group made by someone else, but that you are humans. And above all of that, you are yourself, first and foremost. And you have these things that you cherish in your heart, which is love. And that person, I can guarantee you, also wants and cherishes love. And if they don't understand it, everybody at least wants to understand love. So pursue that, which is yet again another great segment. After all, I didn't make it so that it would be. For the long awaited number 3. You're probably not ready for commitment, just desperate. And this is the biggest inefficiency that you could have. Not only inefficiency, but problem. A real problem. Number 1, because you waste emotions. You waste emotions you will give to that other person because you're not ready for commitment, you're kind of just faffing about. And you may waste emotions that you will generate in that person that will go nowhere, right? You may feel all lovely-dovely. Emotions that you could have withheld for that person that really mattered more, that you really were meant to be with. Secondly, you waste time. And the fact that you waste time means it will take even more time for you to be ready for commitment, for you to actually be in a position where you say, I am ready for marriage, blah, blah, blah. Me, for example, currently, you can judge me, it's fine, whatever. I want to be married. I want to get married, blah, blah, blah. I hate being unmarried and getting distracted with every girl that comes into my life for whatever serendipity reason. And I just like talking a little bit when I'm not ready for it right now, right? And I would love to be married, but I know that I am not ready for the commitment. In the sense of there's other things that I'd like to build first. Then I can start thinking about it. I am young right now anyway, so I don't need to rush or pressure myself. But I would love to have somebody by my side to support me. But I know that it's not the right time. So I try my best. It is true that every now and then, I don't need to be exposing my business out here, but every now and then somehow a woman appears in my life some way, and maybe we talk a little bit, whatever. And I don't know, that's mental space that I don't want to have. Right now I want to focus more on my projects, my ambitions, my goals, and all of that. Likewise, you may be distracted with women every now and then. But is this distraction one that's serving you or disserving you? Because are you really ready for commitment? Are you really ready to find that person and settle down and have children or whatever? If you are, that's great. You may just be. But if you're not, you're just moving in a hurried fashion. You're doing something you're going to end up regretting. You're doing something that's going to be ending up a waste of time. And if you do actually follow through and get married to this person, perhaps it wouldn't have been the right timing because you had so much other work to do. And for years now, you will both be dissatisfied in both the relationship and your projects because you will be neither fully present in your projects, neither fully present in the relationships. But now that you're alone, is a time where you can go 100% in one of them. And once you have something built for yourself, right, that you wanted to build for yourself, you can invite a relationship into your life. But until you don't have it, you can't really have any presence in the relationship. And if you do, it would take even more years, more time for those projects of yours, those goals and ambitions of yours to come to be. And to finish this point off, you will waste spirit. You will waste reserved words that were meant to come for the right person, for the future person, when you were actually ready. Because in most cases, if you are not ready, it will not work out. It will only work out because it's already hard enough when you are actually ready. A wasted spirit means that you would have indulged in things like sex with that person, right? Maybe kissing, whatever, maybe, you know, talking spicy, whatever, maybe sharing stories and intimate things that were meant to be intimate, but now you're going to share them again with another person. God forbid, but then again and again and again. And these things that are meant to be intimate, by definition, are no longer intimate because they've been shared a whole lot. So do be wary and cautious. I'm only trying to look out for you. If you're new to the channel, I do recommend subscribing, because in a couple of days a video will come out called, you know, how to be a better boyfriend, husband, or whatever, which is actually the next step of this video. Strive to be 1% better every day, and much love.